Idi.
Idiots. It's for you.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to our channel. But before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Clint Eastwood's Lifestyle 2020. Clint Eastwood is an American actor, filmmaker, musician, and politician. After achieving success in the Western TV series, Rawhide rose to the international fame with his role as the man with no name in Italian filmmaker Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy of spaghetti westerns during the 1960s. And as an anti-hero cop, Harry Callahan in the 5 Dirty Harry films throughout the 1970s and 80s. Let's talk about Clint Eastwood's Lifestyle 2020. His full name is Clinton Eastwood Jr., also known as Joe Manco and Blondie. He is 89 years old and was born on May 31st, 1930, in San Francisco, California, in the United States. He stands at 1.93 meters tall or 6'4". Aside from acting and directing, Eastwood enjoys playing golf, hunting, fishing, and surfing. Surfing is a hobby he grew up with in Hawaii and Southern California. Eastwood has had numerous casual and serious relationships of varying duration and intensity over his life, many of which overlapped shortly after he met his future wife Maggie Johnson on a blind date in spring of 1953. Eastwood had a relationship that resulted in a daughter, Lori, who was adopted by Clyde and Helen Warren of Seattle. Eastwood continued having affairs while married to Johnson, including in 1959 to 1973 in liaison with the stunt woman Roxanne Tunis that produced the daughter Kimber. In 1964, Johnson apparently tolerated the open marriage with Eastwood, and eventually they had 2 children, Kyle, born in 1968, and Allison, born in 1972. In 1975, Eastwood married actress Sondra Locke and began living with her. She claimed that Eastwood confided in her and he'd never been in love before and wrote her a poem. Eastwood said that she made me monogamous. 9 years into their cohabitation, Eastwood officially divorced Maggie Johnson.
In 1964, for a few dollars more, 1965, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
During the 1930s, his family frequently moved for his dad's job along the West Coast. The family settled in an affluent area in Piedmont, California in the 1940s. The Eastwoods had a swimming pool belonging to a country club and had more than 1 car. Clint was held back in middle school due to poor grades. He was expelled from Piedmont High School for writing an obscene note on an athletic school board as well as other disciplinary infractions. He then transferred to Oakland Technical High School. After high school, Eastwood worked as a lifeguard, paperboy, grocery clerk, golf caddy, and forest fighter. He was drafted into the Army during the Korean War. One of the lucky breaks Eastwood had in the industry was to get directed by Arthur Lieben. Lieben was impressed with Eastwood's good looks and movie star appearance. He saw potential in Eastwood and suggested that he should take an acting class. Eastwood followed the advice and began going to auditions.
Or why he turned down some of the most iconic roles in the history of cinema. In this video, we'll answer those questions.
His first ever part was in a film, Revenge of the Creature, and he landed his first big role in the Western comedy Ginger Rogers. This led to Eastwood to land a few other parts, but it wasn't until 1959, when he was the cast of the television show Rawhide, that his career really took off. The show ran for 6 seasons and set Eastwood up as a star of the Old West. In 1964, Eastwood was cast in his first iconic role as the man with no name in Sergio Leone's Fistful of Dollars. The character appeared again in For a Few More Dollars and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The film reconfirmed Eastwood as a Western hero, and he went on to star in other Westerns such as Hang Him High, Paint Your Wagon, and 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. In 1971, he took his other iconic role in the movie Dirty Harry. The film caused quite a stir because of law enforcement in the 1970s. The film also received criticism for the way it portrayed the African American community. Though it was met with this backlash, Dirty Harry went to become a classic in American cinema. This work made his directorial debut with Play Misty for Me. Although the film was not a commercial success, it was a critical darling, and it proved Eastwood was more than just an actor. He went on to direct a number of films. Later in his career, he won the Academy Awards for Best Director and Best Picture for both 1992's Unforgiven and 2004's $1 Million Baby. Eastwood's biggest commercial success were with a 1978 adventure comedy, Every Which Way But Loose, and its 1980 sequel, Any Which Way You Can.
ACH2! Hurrah! God's not on our side because he hates idiots also.
Eastwood has directed 5 actors in Academy Award-winning performances: Gene Hackman in Unforgiven, Tim Robbins and Sean Penn in Mystic River, and Morgan Freeman and Hilary Swank in $1 Million Baby. Since 1967, Eastwood's Mall Pass Productions has produced all but 4 of his American films. Eastwood served for 2 years as mayor of the Camel by the Sea, California, in non-partisan office from 1986 to 1988. For Francis in the Navy in 1955, Clint Eastwood was paid $300 for Star in the Dust. In 1956, he was paid $775 for The First Traveling Saleslady. In 1956, he was paid $750 for Ambush at Shimmering Pass. In 1958, he was paid $750 for the first season of Rawhide. In 1959, he was paid $700 in episode 4 of Perengignoli Dolori. In 1964, he was paid $15,000 for Pierre Welsh de la Rue and Pew. In 1965, he was paid $50,000 for Abula Alberto Ica Vito
when he decided to accept the lead role in A Fistful of Dollars, a decision that proved life-changing. The actor is known to follow his gut and
in 1966, he was paid $250,000 plus 10% of Western Hemisphere's profits. For Lost Track in 1967, he was paid $20,000. For Hang Him High in 1968, he was paid $400,000 plus 25% of the gross for Coogan's Bluff, The Anderson for Where Eagles Dared in 1968. Further, he was paid $850,000 for Paint Your Wagon. In 1969, he was paid $600,000 for Two Mules for Sister Sarah in 1970. For Pale Rider in 1985, he was paid $6 million. And for Heartbreak Ridge in 1986, he was paid $10 million. Eastwood's net worth is $375 million.
In 1951, he decided to go back to studying and was planning to enroll at Seattle University. However, he was drafted instead into the U.S. Army and sent to Fort Ord in California for training. Clint was never a part of the combat and instead worked as a swimming instructor during the
Eastwood's California real estate portfolio includes a 15,000 square foot compound in Camel by the Sea, a 6,136 square foot home in Bel Air, the 100,067.5 acres Rising River Ranch in Bernie, an apartment in Burbank, as well as a large understated house located next to his door to his longtime primary Bel Air residence. Eastwood also owns 5,000 square foot house in Sun Valley, Idaho, and a 1.5 acre oceanfront property in Maui, Hawaii. He previously occupied homes in the Studio City Tiburon and Pebble Beach, Clint.
Translated into Spanish is Malpaso. Second, Eastwood lives in California by Malpaso Creek, and hence the name Malpaso Productions.
Eastwood drives an all-electric Fiat 500e, but don't worry, this isn't his only car. Eastwood is an American legend who owns classic cars like the Austin Healey and a Ferrari 365. One of Eastwood's favorite cars is the 1992 GMC Typhoon, which he reportedly still owns. Eastwood doesn't have a huge collection of cars, but he has ones that no one thinks of having. Clint once had a massive interest in cars, but then there came a time when he completely lost interest in them and sold many cars from his collection. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.